go to a bookstore and find nursing texts? None to be found. So it was an interesting start. And then we expanded the next 4 years, and it kind of goes in 4-year periods. And in these 4 years of expanding, we kind of took on, well, we filled in, as I said, it was a skeleton curriculum. And we, like for example, nursing fundamentals, it was a 120-hour course, and it extended to 155 hours. And anatomy and physiology from 50 hours to 100 hours. In other words, there were big expansions there. And while we did those, we thought, well, we were quite busy getting this curriculum expanded. So at the same time, I made a book, a little book, and I'm going to pass this around. It's kind of a checklist book of a bed bath and all these various procedures. And we didn't expect just teachers to check off 3 times. A student needed to check that off to say whether it was satisfactory or not. And so this little book went around, and I asked medical students, we had some, plus local doctors, would they help us? And they became very, very interested in this little book. And they said, oh, we're learning a lot too of what we should be doing. Oh, okay. We for the next 4 years, we were expanding. Then came the time where we felt we were now in a position to make a contribution towards professional nursing and Christian service. And if I would have if I would have my textbook, but I'll read it. No, I have a copy here. It's okay. And you can pass that around if they want to see it. Each chapter in that book, I kind of had a little quote that I thought was suitable for the chapter. Yes, you could pass that around too. Yeah. And for this particular chapter that I wrote, contributing toward an understanding of professional nursing and Christian service, I had this particular quote: you can give without caring, but you can't care without giving. I kind of liked what one of the Chinese artists, Lin Yutang was his name, and this very famous artist said that when an artist painted a picture, he needed not only to have flawless strokes of a brush, he needed to have his own personality cultivated in a sense that connected to his art, so that the people seeing the picture, the painting, would sense something of the artist. And I thought, well, that was something worthwhile for us when we thought of helping students to understand professional nursing and at the same time having Christian service come through in their service. And later on, I had several books, especially when I collected information to write this book. I think Jacqueline Fawcett was one. She wrote a book on nursing theory, I think. Yes, some of you know her. And then I don't know whether any of you knew Shelley and Miller, Called to Care. And they wrote a book in 1999, I think. And both those two books, especially Shelley and Miller, it's about time I should stop. Shelley and Miller, they said that it was possible that if a student were trained properly, some of her personality, she could cultivate her personality so that Christian service would show through. And Shelley and them, they especially said that commitment would come through, motivation, Christian motivation, it would shine through. And we felt that that was also possible. In fact, I would like to just quote one or two examples here. In one case, we had graduate nurses that started a nursing home. In fact, one of these nurses was an Aboriginal, and she started a nursing home in an Aboriginal area. I was amazed that she dared to do that, but she did. And she said, you know, there was a patient that came to us, and we took her in. She was so full of bed sores, and we asked what kind of a bed had she had, and she said, well, she had been in the provincial hospital for several months. And but this student had learned how to take care of bed sores, and after a month, she reported that most of those bed sores showed remarkable degree of healing, not quite healed, but she finally got her totally healed. And I felt that was excellent. Another one, that to me spoke volumes. When I interviewed these graduate nurses for the book, I asked, and currently, what are you doing? And this other nurse said, I have a nursing home in Taipei, and I know that the government is watching my nursing home because I am not a registered nurse. And so she says, I have hired a registered nurse. The nursing home is in her name, but I'm the CEO, sort of. And she says, not long ago, we had government officials come to see our home. They were checking up on me, she said. And they had left and had said to her, we feel the love in this nursing home. And I was most pleased about that, yes. Yeah. Okay, finally, I'm going to quickly rush through the last point here now and have a few concluding reflections. Then came the year into the 70s, about 73, 74, and we received a notification that government officials were going to come to visit us. And we sensed, we knew why, and they said, you must register your nursing school. Well, I agreed. I think there should be accountability systems for education, measuring educational standards. Yes, I certainly agreed with that. But again, they gave us the criteria, and you must build a house on your hospital complex where the military officer will live, and he will teach military training, shooting, and so forth. Well, I knew this would be a long haul again, so we did write to our mission agency at home. In the meantime, they suggested that we try other affiliations, which we had already thought of. And after trying to affiliate with other hospitals that might have an understanding, one of them was Mackay Presbyterian Hospital, and although they are not a peace church, but they were very open to understanding our situation. And so we affiliated with them and we could choose the students, but those students had to go to Mackay Nursing School in Taipei to write entrance exams, which we agreed to. We even tutored those students in high school. They were only junior high students that started nursing schools at that time. Well, there were a few junior college students that had grade 12, but ours was